This is the surveillance footage of luxury homebuilder Fotis Doulos stopping at 30 different public trash bins along a Connecticut highway, dumping blood-soaked zip ties, sponges, and clothing into the garbage. In the passenger seat is his live-in girlfriend. Just hours earlier, his estranged wife and the mother of his 5 children vanished after dropping their kids off at school. Most true crime stories treat spousal murder as a sudden crime of passion. But if you look at the public family court docket from the 2 years leading up to this footage, a very different story emerges.
New information for you right now.
It was 9 months since Jennifer Doulos, the New Canaan mother of 5, disappeared.
Fotis Doulos didn't snap. His custody was stripped, his cash flow was frozen by a $2.5 million estate lawsuit, and his paper trail proves that when the legal system cornered him, murder was his calculated backup plan. In 2017, after 13 years of marriage, Jennifer Doulos filed for divorce. Her husband, Fotis Doulos, was a home builder from Greece. Charming, confident, the kind of man who always seemed to have money, except the money was never really his. Fotis's luxury building company ran on loans from Jennifer's father, a Wall Street executive named Hilliard Farber.
Gloria Farber is suing Fotis Doulos along with his company 4 Group for more than $2 million for money Jennifer's father gave to Fotis before he died. Farber says the money was a loan and she wants to be paid back. Doulos says that money was a gift.
Fotis had been seeing TV producer he met at a ski club in Miami. Therefore, when Jennifer filed for divorce, Michelle didn't disappear. She moved into the family's 10,000 square foot mansion in Farmington, Connecticut, the same house Jennifer's 5 children still called home. I mean, the audacity of this man is next level. Jennifer was afraid, of course, not in a vague way. She told the court, in writing, that she feared Fotis would take the children to Greece and never bring them back. So she moved, 70 miles away, to a rented house in New Canaan, just to put distance between her kids and their father's new life. But distance didn't fix the money problem. Jennifer's family estate sued Fotis for $2.5 million in unpaid loans. His cash flow froze. His business, the thing that made him feel powerful, started to collapse in slow motion, in full view of a judge who was watching everything.
How do you think the public looks at you?
It depends. I think that the people that do not know me, they probably look at me as a monster.
As a monster?
Yes.
You must have assumed a messy divorce, a custody fight, the kind of thing that plays out in family courts every single day. The irony is, that assumption is exactly what makes this case so unsettling. What was actually happening was a slow, documented stripping of Fotis's control. He could feel the loss of power. A judge found that he had tried to alienate the children from their mother. A judge found that he had introduced the kids to Michelle against direct court orders. So the judge did the one thing that hits a man like Fotis hardest. He took away unsupervised visitation. From then on, Fotis could only see his own children under supervision. Think about what that means. A man who built his entire identity on being the provider, the protector, the one in control, reduced to supervised visits, while his business was being dismantled by the same family whose name was on his company's loans. He was losing the house. He was losing the business. He was losing his children, one court order at a time. And the person signing every one of those orders was a judge acting on Jennifer's documentation. Everything is falling apart for him, and it is not looking good.
When people speculate that you wanted Jennifer out of the way, how do you respond to that?
Well, that's ludicrous because I never wanted Jennifer out of the way, even because I wouldn't want my children to have a relationship with their mother.
On May 24, 2019, Fotis borrowed a truck from one of his own employees, not his own vehicle. Therefore, whatever happened next, he didn't want it traced back to him. He drove to New Canaan. He waited. And after Jennifer dropped her children off at school, he ambushed her in her own garage. Investigators later reconstructed a violent struggle. Jennifer was bound with zip ties. Her body was placed in her own car, which was abandoned near a local park. The scary part is, her body was never found. That same evening, surveillance cameras caught Fotis driving along Albany Avenue in Hartford. Michelle Troconis was in the passenger seat, leaning out the window. Together, they stopped at 30 separate public trash bins, dumping evidence piece by piece. Blood-soaked zip ties, sponges, ponchos, Jennifer's altered clothing. 30 stops. Not one, 30. That is not panic. That is planning. Fotis Doulos was arrested for murder in January 2020.
There are two types of cases. There are what happened and there are whodunits. This doesn't rise to the level of a whodunit because we don't really know what happened.
3 weeks later, facing a bond violation that would send him straight back to jail, he died by suicide in his garage. Carbon monoxide poisoning.
Fotis Doulos will now be taken to the medical examiner's office in New York.
Doctors trying to save Fotis Doulos after he attempted suicide today.
Brought to the hospital in the Bronx for further treatment, clinging to life.
The only thing I have to say again, for one more time, is that my only concern are my children. I care deeply about them, and I can't wait to be with them again.
He left behind a note denying he had anything to do with Jennifer's disappearance. The case didn't end there.
As we are speaking, we have filed an unusual motion in the Connecticut courts asking to substitute an estate for Fotis Doulos for him as a defendant, to force the state to show its hand in a trial filled with evidence we think that amounts to no more than innuendo and unsupported suspicion. So if you check the court pleadings, you'll see a motion to substitute the estate of Fotis Doulos for Mr. Doulos. It'll be a difficult challenge to persuade the state of Connecticut to go forward with a trial in the absence of a defendant. But having maligned the man for all time from coast to coast, and if not there, around the world, we're asking for the right to clear his name. We intend to proceed on as if he were alive to vindicate him, because we think he's wrongfully accused, and we'll be seeking the discovery that we were supposed to get just the other day, supposed to begin getting just the other day. So it's been a truly horrific day for the family, filled with difficult decisions, medical tests, and meeting the requirements to determine death.
Right away, Jennifer opened up her home to me and made me part of their family. We were a duo right away. She trusted me and I trusted her. It was Jennifer I went to when anything happened in my life, continued to affect my life. The day Jennifer went missing was the day I started to fear not only for my life, but the life of Jennifer's 5 children. And this was directly because of what Michelle and Fotis decided to do on May 24th, 2019. I no longer slept. I no longer could leave the apartment without running to my car in fear that someone would come after me.
To the depraved, meticulously planned, brutal murder of Jennifer in her own garage, the desecration and disappearance of her body, the discarding of her bloody clothing in garbage bags destined for a landfill. Those images.
She was my hero, and now I often feel lost without her comforting smile and her meaningful discussions. I wish I could share my victories with her, but I can't because she is not here anymore. I wish I knew she was in the stands watching me play. I wish I could come home and show her my grades and feel the genuine pride in me that I only got from her. I wish we could sit for hours and discuss everything there is to talk about.
In March 2024, after a 6-week televised trial, Michelle Troconis was convicted: conspiracy to commit murder, evidence tampering, hindering prosecution. She was sentenced to 14.5 years in prison.
The defendant's refusal to provide any information, even speculative, as to what was done with Jennifer's body is a sustained act of cruelty. We are unable to bury Jennifer or to mourn her properly.
Fotis's friend and former attorney, Kent Mulwiney, later pleaded guilty to interfering with police, tied to a makeshift gravesite investigators found at a gun club he had founded. Jennifer's body has never been found. She was legally declared dead. Her mother, Gloria Farber, is the one raising all 5 of her grandchildren now.
Today we are here devastated because has been a tremendous injustice in the trial of my daughter. She's innocent.
I know that everyone wanted answers. I know that maybe the state is happy that they finally convicted her or someone is paying for the price, but she's not the right one.
Everything in this video comes from public court record and reporting on this case. If you are facing a legal situation of your own, please talk to a licensed attorney. Jennifer Doulos spent the last 2 years of her life doing everything right inside a system built to move slowly. And that's the part of this case that never really leaves you. Because when you study family court tragedies long enough, you realize Jennifer wasn't an isolated case. She is part of a pattern. When the legal system relies on slow-moving paperwork to manage high-conflict personalities, the burden of survival almost always falls on the mother. That exact same systemic blind spot is what led to the breakdown in several other cases I've covered on this channel. Out of those, there's one I want you to watch next. I'll see you in there.